Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the League of Europe for round number 5, coming to you from the beautiful and the lovely Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas, in the United States, for what should be a very interesting 5th round to our very tight top 3 in our Division 4 champion. In our Division 4 championship, if I could finish my words. And back for the first time in 2 weeks in the commentator's booth is myself, QVR Packer, and alongside me once again is QVR Verstappen. How's it going here?
Hello, everyone. Indeed, welcome for the sixth round, actually, of this championship. I know you've
Sixth,
been
yep.
away for a while, so yeah,
Yep.
that makes complete sense. So might have lost a bit of count, but luckily QVR Chill has been able to fill in those weeks and made Monaco a bit less dreadful to commentate over. Um, yeah, here in COTA this time out should provide a little bit more excitement once again. After what was actually a very good Abu Dhabi race we saw before, um, in round 4 where Polipus won it, and in Monaco obviously Iconex won his race after taking a lead on lap 1 from Jordan. At this point in the standings, I don't know if you have them pulled up, but Polipus is leading on 81 points here, 2 points ahead of Jordan, being very consistent as always, on 79 points. And then Iconex on 75, and there's a big gap to Maverick and Ghost 70 UK on both 43. So that top 3 looks like a very interesting title battle so far.
Yeah, it does look very, very tight up at the top. Of course, Polipos leads on 81 points, Iconex in third on 75. So 6 point gap between the top 3. And then you do have kind of a jump down to QVR Maverick, who is in fourth, tied with Ghost UK, who's both of them being on 73 points. And I should probably pay attention so I can look at the on-track action as people are already in the middle sector. Jesus, Evil Dragon is on inters and is going out. That's a strange decision. Anyways, let's go to Ecos Mats, who's going to be the first one on an outlap currently. But yeah, just looking back to the championship, we have the top 3 who are well and clear and ahead of the rest of the field. You have Poldipols, won in Abu Dhabi, finished third in Monaco, had picked up 19 points on our sprint weekend in China as well. Jordan JT, 2 second places in a row, 23 points in China. And then of course Iconex won last week, took a second place in Japan and a third place in Great Britain. So maybe another off week for Iconex if we're following the pattern, but I'm sure all 3 of those guys are going to be looking up at the front of the field.
Yeah, in the meantime, it's Ecos Mats coming to the start of his lap. DRS is open on this 5.8 kilometers if I'm not mistaken, long circuit down towards turn 1. 50 meter board uphill, so you can brake quite late there. First gear and now accelerate out of it. Through to flat out turn 2 and into the S's, which has a lot of resemblance of Silverstone's Magda Beckett, and coming through now down towards the first sector split, 25.6. It's a decent time, that's to be said. And coming up the hill for 8 and 9, track limits on the exit here by the stewards, so you have to watch out you don't exploit that too much for the kink of 10, and now down towards turn 11, the all important turn. To get your exit right and get onto the straight late in the race will be very important to try and make any sort of overtakes as well. DRS open for the second time around this lap. And now we're going down towards the last sector. Braking zone here into 1,200 meters. And kind of got that left-hander a little bit, but quite nicely taken by Ecos Mats. 1 of 3 flies, actually not bad at all. And now coming through the double right of 13 and 14. Into turn number 15, and that is quite nicely done by the Mercedes for the triple right-hander. 16, 17, 18 we saw Verstappen and Raikkonen added in 2018. Down towards turn 19, again track limits by the stewards, so watch out with that one. Nicely taken by the Dutchman, and down into the last corner, turn 20. Difficult corner traction, DRS open once again, and a 134 flat 3.6, not too bad at all.
Yeah, not bad at all. Old School will come across the line to set a 34.6 axle just behind him on a 34.9, and then we're going to have in Alfa Romeo, it's Marcy who was invalid, I want to say, on a 34.9, and then Robertson, the second of the Hasses, goes into P4 on a 36.4. There's a Red Bull coming to the line. That will be Energetics just starting his lap, and then we have one of the Ferraris. It's going to be Iconex. just to the line, and third place in the championship, puts himself second on the grid for the time being. Swip, Swip to the line, and Swip goes on to P5. Still just around a second off of the top 4 currently, as Esteban is also heading through the final sector as he's just exited the penultimate corner and into the final corner. The final corner can be very difficult to nail because it's fourth gear typically as you're hitting that apex there, and then of course you can't run too wide because the curb can mess you up pretty good as Esteban goes onto the front row, just a tenth behind Ecos Mats for the time being. Let's see who else is crossing the line. I think that was Ghost. He goes on to a 35 flat. And Jordan, I want to say that was a 34.3, so he finds himself in P3.
Yeah, the Mercedes and the Ferraris looking at the first 2 rows so far. And we think Evil Dragon actually can all happen on the inters on the 40.8. Considering their intermediates, I don't think that's too bad whatsoever. Just looking around, Ibo is on his out lap, and see if we can catch anyone on an actual lap. Can't really find anyone here. Marcy's invalid. Polipus doesn't use ERS, so that can't be a competitive lap. Energetics is driving without ERS on as well. He won't be in as Ghost Recon tries to join for the 7th time, I think, at this point. Let's hope he can get in his car again. American internet might not like it too much right now. Seems to be of a dull point in the session right now.
Yeah, you do always kind of get these points in the session where everyone makes their first run, and then you just have a few stragglers who want to avoid the traffic or possibly invalidated on their first run and just came straight back into the pit lane. But we'll watch on board Energetics at a 153.4. Must have made a mistake on his last lap because it wasn't invalid. So let's watch on board with the Dutch driver into turn 1, a little bit wide of the apex. You want to try and clip that red and white curb on the inside as we fly down the hill through turn 2, and you're going to send it back left, right for these S's through 3, 4, 5, and then back through this longer right-hander of 6, then through the first sector split. He's up by 15.5 seconds almost as we head through 7, 8, and then this tricky exit of 9. You have to watch out for the exit here. Just because you can very easily run it wide as Evil Dragon is off the session. Energetics dropping through 10, now breaking into turn 11. Very difficult corner to get right because you want to hook up you want to get to the apex and then hook up the exit very, very well as you're heading on to the longest straight on the circuit, with DRS, of course, Speed Trap being at the end of this straight as well. Let's see what Energetics is able to get up to. It looks like it's going to be peaking just at 199 miles an hour as we head into turn 12 and across the middle sector split now. He's up by 18 seconds. He's found even more time, surprisingly, through 13 and through turn 14. Now into this tricky left-hander of 15. You want to clip the apex and short shift and try and get the best traction possible. It's a little bit of a slide, but as we go into the triple right-hander through 16, 17, and 18, you want to try and keep it to as far right as possible. Take the line of least resistance as we head through 19. Be careful on the exit here. Don't take the IndyCar line, and then through turn 20, just over the curb on the inside. Avoid the exit curb just a little bit as it opens DRS and head to the line. It's P6 for Energetics, and I think he'll be kind of happy with that lap. He's only 9/10 off of pole position as it stands right now, but has 2 more runs in him.
Yeah, and definitely I think considering he had a very decent middle sector split, I think it was only a couple tenths off equals Mats earlier. There's a lot of time in that last sector, so that slide obviously, so I think he's still got some time to find later on. Looking around, I think Jamie Met is also on the lap. DRS is open. I've seen the Aston Martin be very consistent in the last couple of races, picking up his points here and there. Over turn 12, let's see what his second sector split is. 104 flats, about a second off equals Mats. If he can slip himself in between Ghost UK and his teammate, I think he'd be very happy. Let's see, he's running through turn 15. Watch out for that. That could be an overtaking spot into the race. It's quite common. As he does actually invalidate there through one of the apexes for the triple right-hander, and he's gonna have to start again.
Yeah, Jamie's gonna have to go again. I'm kind of surprised that he's not going straight into the pit lane, of course, because he doesn't have too much time. By completing another lap here, I think he might still squeak in 2 runs, but it's gonna be very, very close as drivers around the top of the grid are starting and preparing to go on laps once again. iConnect has just started his lap. Jordan has just coming out of the final corner. Old School is just heading through the middle sector as well. So I guess we'll hop on board with Old School as Robertson has joined back to the session, currently P10. Once he's able to hop back into his car. Old School heading into the final corner of the middle sector, turn 12. You want to brake hard and use as much curb as possible. That orange curb, typically you can go all the way to the inside of that orange curb there. He's up by 0.6 of a second, so this currently could put him into provisional pole position if he puts together a solid final sector, but he's running very, very low on ERS, is the Haas driver, as we head out of 15 through 16, 17, and through 18, and Old School will send it around the rear end. It can be very difficult to hold on to through that final corner, especially the middle, the final sector being the most technical of the 3 sectors here on track. And once you cook your tires, there's really no coming back from that. Iconex now is heading through the middle sector. Let's see how much time he has found. He's actually found nothing. If anything, he's down by a little bit, down by 100th of a second. It says on the delta on our screens as we go into turn 15 with Iconex using a little bit too much curb, and will find himself well wide of where he wanted to be on that exit there. As we head through the triple right-hander, has a little bit of a snap and he goes wide, and that's going to be his lap over and done with. But you can kind of see he was already struggling just out of 15. Now we'll go head into Jordan here, making his way to the penultimate quarter, down 2 gears, short shifting to 5th gear just on the exit there as we head into final corner here, short shifting to 4th gear, trying to get that traction, opening up the DRS. A solid exit for him, finds 0.2 of a second, and it's going to be a Merc 1-2 right now. Yeah,
9,000 between them. That's going to motivate the both of them to beat each other, I reckon. It's yeah, I've seen a few connection issues here and there, just hoping that can all be sorted out before the race, and we don't get any random disconnects. Too many anyway. Polipos is actually on the lap. He's not set a lap time yet, not valid anyway. He's coming through the penultimate corner, very much on the edge there. Let's see, coming through the final corner. Can he get himself towards the top? Jumps up later. P3 there, under a 10th behind Mass. It's looking very close at this front.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty decent lap there for Polipos, of course, possibly having a banker that was invalid there, but looks like Polipos was able to find a pretty decent amount of time if he did have a lap before. Alfa Romeo coming to the line, that's Marcy. He's on mediums though, I think he's just be starting. As we hit another one of those lulls in the session, as I'm looking at the D4 chat, it says, people are saying that the session is saying that it's no longer available for anyone who has been kicked out already, so that is unfortunate to see. I think Ghost Recon just joined back, so hopefully he can get into his car and get out on track and set a lap time. Same for Evil Dragon. Oh, never mind, Evil Dragon's in the session. So yeah, let's look and see. I think the only person on a lap right now is, well, Evil Dragon's on a lap actually right now. So let's watch the board with our Division 3 commentator. I believe, yeah, Division 3 commentator is Evil Dragon. As he's heading down the back straight with the DRS open, of course, as we head in to turn 12. Evil Dragon currently on 34 points, 2 podiums to his name this season, a 2nd place and a 3rd place so far this season in China and Japan. As he's heading into turn 15, looks pretty solid. He'll want a short shift possibly on the exit of 15 there as we head through 16, 17, and through turn 18, flat out, just as easy as you like. And now through the penultimate corner, a little bit wide of the apex there was Evil Dragon, but kept good speed through the corner as we head into the final corner, down the 3rd gear, just a little wide of the apex and running out of deployment. As we on the exit of the final corner, Evil Dragon will put himself up into P6, so I'd say that's a decent lap. Of course, everyone will still have at least one more run, I think, in this session, so I think he has enough time to improve on that one if he can get back to the pits swiftly, which he should be able to do.
Yeah, very decent time nonetheless though, P6. I don't think he'll be too unhappy about that. I'll be able to improve in the last run as well. You have to see as the clock is running down. Looking around if you can find anyone on the lap. GoTK is about to start one. Ivo is on the lap, he's about 2/10 up, so could be a little bit of an improvement for the AlphaTauri driver. Some Marcy on the mediums actually, starting a lap as well. This could be something to keep an eye on, because obviously it doesn't carry over this game anymore. It doesn't validate there through the S's, and he was a 10th up on his 154. So Ibo does improve to a 49.1, so it's good to see for him. Yeah, Marcy on the mediums, not too sure what his intentions are, but he probably has some sort of plan behind it. Ghost UK is coming through the first sector, looks very cautious here throughout. 2580 is 4 tenths up, so there could be a bit of time in this lap still to promote him a bit higher up. Let's see, he comes through turn 9 up the hill, using all the curb on the exit. And then towards turn 11, braking is very important. The curb on the apex can be quite a bit dodgy, but he does leave that just about. And on the exit, he gets a pretty decent exit there. The Alpine, DRS open, and he heads down towards turn 12.
Yeah, Ghost UK on his way to the final sector. Of course, the fastest way down this back straight to the final sector, of course, is through turn 12. Kind of killed a little bit of speed there right at the apex. This is the purple middle sector. He's up by 7/10 of a second on his 35.0. So currently, this lap putting him around and in the conversation for the top 5. But I'm sure if he puts together a decent final sector, he could have one hand on pole position here possibly for the Alpine driver. Let's see what it's going to be through the final few corners. Into turn 19, hits the apex nicely, carries a decent amount of speed, short shifting to 6th gear. Let's see, through the final corner, down to 3rd, short shifting 4th. I think that's the best. You're going to take it, had a little bit of a slide in the apex there, but it's a 34.2. Couldn't find just enough to put himself up into that top 4, but I think that's a good lap for him there. However, that's going to be his session done, unless he brought enough fuel on board to do 2 laps, but either way, his tires will be absolutely destroyed. Energetics is just starting a lap. There's a Ferrari right behind him. That'll be Esteban, just starting. iConnect is in the final sector as well, just starting a lap. It looks like. I think Axel is in the final sector, and he looks like he did a 34.9.
Yeah, must have made a mistake and then tried to go again. Now he might be out of the arrest towards the end of his lap. Let's hope he can still get a decent time out of that. Yeah, I think Energetics will be the first one to set his final time out of the group that hasn't yet. 10th down for the first sector, however. Just gonna keep an eye in behind on Steven, how he does. Can't quite see his split time there. The Red Bull coming down towards turn 11 though. Braking about 60-70 meters. 3rd gear, so Ghost Recon still attempting to join. Let's hope he can get back in. He did for a second and then back out again, so just gotta hope that is all sorted. Energetics heading down towards turn 12 though. Let's see, braking around to 100 meter boards. And into 3rd gear, keeps it quite nice and tidy there. He has a 10th and a half up there, so it could be a decent time in it for the Red Bull. He has a bit of time left in the last sector. We saw the last time out. The Red Bull coming down towards turn 16, 17, 18 as Ghost UK predictably retired from the session. Energetics quite a bit wide though through the triple right-hander. And cost him a little bit of time as he does cut the penultimate corner there and is going to be invalid and not going to be improving. Steven in behind, let's see how he does. As, I think there's Recon just joining back right there. Steven across the line, 33.9. First driver into the 33. Says the flag is going to be checkered and out now.
Yeah, that's going to be the end of the session. Just waiting for some people to cross the line. Jamie Met was unable to get to the line in time to start his final lap. iConnect's coming around the final corner. Let's see if he's going to be able to match his teammate. He doesn't quite do so. He found 2/10 of a second, but not enough to put him into the top 4. Poldypole's current championship leader. Let's see if he's going to be able to do anything as he's just rounding the final corner on his final lap. Here, opening up the DRS, and he puts himself on the provisional pole position by 5 thousandths of a second. Matt's to the line, and he does a 33.8. So Polypoles put himself on a provisional pole position, but Ecos Mats absolutely blew that lap out of the water. We have a Haas and an Aston Martin in the final sector, but I'm going to be watching on board with Jordan as he's heading
slightly up.
Through the triple right and into the penultimate corner. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. I don't think either of the Haas or the Aston Martin were able to improve on positions too highly anyways. Jordan to the line, 33.8, and Mercedes will reclaim that front row that they had earlier on in the session. Old School made a mistake on his lap. He was unable to improve. I think Jess is in the final sector as well. Energetics and Axel also still out on track on laps, it seems right now. Jess to the line, derating of course. Finds 4/10, but doesn't find a positional improvement. Axel has backed off, it looks like, or he's out of ERS anyways, and Energetics is without a front wing. So I think that's going to be the end of the session. And it looked like the Alfa Romeo Polypols or the two Ferraris had a good shot at the front row, but the two Mercedes come in on their final runs and blow it right out of the water.
Yeah, I think this top 6 could be very close there in the race if we look at it. Only 4 tenths between the lot of them, and we know Ghost UK is one that is very good in the race, such as iConnect as well. So, looks like this could be a very exciting race. Only a tenth between the top 4 as well is quite crazy, has to be said. And yeah, it's shaping up to be a good race.
Yeah, you could kind of see it in the championship order. Of course, Polypols, our championship leader, in third place. Jordan, second place in the championship. Second place out on in qualifying. Ecos Mats having a good race here. He already has a podium to his name, finishing third in Abu Dhabi. And then Esteban, of course, I don't want to say it's a surprise to see Esteban up there in the top 4, but normally someone that we can count on to be pretty decent in qualifying. But as Ecos Mats is absolutely going crazy in the Division 4 chat.
It's good to see the enthusiasm there. Yeah, just run you through the grids. Yeah, Mats and Jordan at the front, and then Poltopus and Steban, and then iConnect in P5 of Ghost 70 UK in P6. Interesting is going to be to see the teamwork between both the Ferraris and both the Mercedes. Obviously, not going to be fighting too much, I reckon. And it's Evil Dragon in P7 and Old School in P8. Swip actually a very decent qualifying for him, P9, and an Axel in P10 with Energetics in P11, then Jess in P12, Robertson in P13, Ivo in P14, then it's Marcy in 15th with a 55.4, and Ghost Recon and Jamie Metten both not having set a time. Let's hope that Ghost Recon is able to take control of his car in the race.
Yeah, Ghost Recon has been having problems with his internet, it seems, or just not, or the game just being bad, one of the two. Probably the game being bad, but yeah, so Ghost Recon, hopefully he can get into his car for the race. It would be nice to see him out there, have all 17 drivers out competing for a race victory, and we could possibly have a new winner here. Of course, Esteban looking quick. Ecos Mats yet to win a race this season as well, and being on pole position. I'm just putting himself in pole position to win this race possibly. But before I become another James Head, we'll wait for the formation lap.
Yeah, just to note as well, Jordan hasn't won a race either yet. Had a few podiums, but not a race win yet. So he'll be looking to get on top there as well. I have to see how this is going to be played, but yeah, yeah, we've had actually no repeat winners yet at all. So that is also something that could happen as well. Ghost UK has won a race, obviously. iConnect has won a race, and Polopus has won a race with Lifeboat taking the one in Silverstone after which he got promoted, and Maverick taking the one in China, and he's not here tonight either. So let's have a look at the tires. I see quite a mix-up here. As yeah, this is a very mixed up selection here.
What?
So,
oh no.
well, so we have the Mercedes at the front on the mediums. Then it's Polopus and Steban on the hards. iConnect again on the medium, so watch out for him. Probably going to be able to challenge the top 2 potentially. Ghost UK and Evil Dragon then 2 on the hards, with Old School again on the mediums. Then we have our Outlier and Swip on the softs. Softs aren't completely horrible here. They are very quick at the start, so I have to see if you can make use of it, but overheating could be a little bit of a problem. Axel on the mediums, and then Energetics and Jess on the hards. Robertson is the second driver on the softs. He's going to be trying to make positions quite early on. Then Ibo, Marcy, and Ghost Recon on the mediums, with Jamie Met on the hards at the back. So, yeah, this is a very mixed up grid in terms of tire selection. We're going to have to see. Normally you have a medium hard or hard medium here, as usual. What the guys on the softs are going to do, I don't know exactly. As soft hard as possible, I wouldn't recommend it though.
Yeah, it is possible, but as you said, not recommended, of course, because the soft tires can go, I don't know, probably a max of like 5 or 6 laps, I would say, and maybe like 2 or 3 before you start, before you start overheating. So,
I've seen Jordan go runs on the formation lap here in the wall. Luckily, there's no damage in that, so it gets away with it for now. But yeah, Matt will be lining up towards the grid now.
Yeah, just waiting for everyone to get lined up. As you can see on the screen, of course, last week we had Monaco. This week we're at the Circuit of the Americas, and the next 2 weeks we have, of course, we're heading to Canada next week, and then we have our second sprint race of the season in Bahrain. So just a few races to look forward to, but we're going to be focusing on this one as everyone gets aligned into their positions, all 17 drivers here tonight. It looks like Ghost Recon was able to get back into the session, which is good to see. So it's going to be very interesting to see what drivers are going to be able to do with these strategies. Of course, a very mixed up grid in terms of strategy selection, but here we go. In Texas, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. It's lights out, and away we go. The 2 Mercedes from the front, and it looks like Jordan's going to get a much better start as Polypoles kind of goes a little bit slow off the line, but it looks like Jordan's going to be into P1. Matt's trying to keep a Mercedes 1-2, but it looks like Polypoles is going to be up into P2. Esteban around the outside as well. It's 3 wide through turn 2, but now it looks like Polypoles is going to get P2 as we head into the S's for the first time of 28 times here at the Circuit of the Americas. Matt's looking up the inside of Polypoles as we're trying to go through this middle sector now, but I think Polypoles is just going to secure P2 for the time being, but Ecos Mats is going to be coming at him on those medium compound tires. Esteban on hards as well is trying to stay in P4 for the time being. iConnect's right behind him, so the 2 Ferraris will keep their positions in P4 and P5. Axel P6, Ghost UK has lost a position. He's down to P7. Evil Dragon is up into P8. Old School Ghost Recon P9, P10. And Robertson and Swip, the 2 soft runners, have lost positions here on the race start.
As the 2 Ferrari swap, as I've seen Axel go down the inside of Esteban. Let's see if he can make that one stick. Bit of contact there. That's the second time I've seen that. That's Evil Dragon and Old School actually side by side. Evil Dragon defending Ghost UK, trying to gain a position on Axel as well. And there's a lot of action. Axel keeps P6. There was a bit of contact between Axel and iConnect at turn 1. I think Axel misjudged his braking points. Old School is next to Evil Dragon, and round he goes, and Ghost Recon's going around as well after contact with another driver. I thought it must have been Marcy. And there's a few drivers now towards the back of the grid that don't want to be there.
Yeah, of course, Ghost Recon down to P16 where he started now. Ibo's lost a few positions. Marcy's P15. Old School's lost quite a few as well. He's down to P14. Jamie Matt is loving life currently, it looks like, as he's up into P13. Axel up the inside of Esteban there. Esteban on the hard tires, finding it difficult to get those tires working to their temperature range here, early on here, it seems, as Axel's already up into P5, making his way past the Ferrari driver. Now he has quite the gap to close up if he wants to get onto the back of iConnect, who's currently 1.9 seconds in front of him, as the top 4 have kind of spread out, but not really, as Jordan leads up from the front, but Polypoles being on the hard tires, you kind of expect Jordan to be able to kind of jump away right at the beginning, and then Polypoles come back at him once you get into the later stages of the race, as Ecos Mats has a little bit of a lockup as we head into turn 11, but he's going to stick behind Polypoles for the time being. He's actually using a little bit of his ERS just in the exit, trying to mediate that gap between him and iConnect, of course. Axel, it looks like he's actually losing quite a bit of time. He's already lost almost half a second since he's made his way past Esteban on this lap so far. Ghost UK, of course, right on the back of Esteban in P6 right now. Evil Dragon 1.2 seconds away from them, as Robertson, I swear Swip was literally just in P16, and now he's in P10 again. I guess the power of softs doing their thing. Energetics in P11 currently. Old School, after having that spin at this specific place on the last lap, he is currently in P12. Jimmy Met P13, Marcy P14, and Swip and Energetics have swapped positions. It looks like Swip made a little bit of a mistake on the exit of turn 15 there.
Yeah, I just lost traction a little bit on the exit there. It's quite a difficult corner again for traction. Yellow flag as goes Recon was round for the triple right-hander. He's gonna have to go again. I don't think he has damage though, so that might benefit him. And yeah, at the front, you'd expect Jordan to maybe pull away a little bit more, but it looks like Polypoles' pace is quite solid here. There's a chance that Ecos Mats could maybe help him out a little bit here. Try and fight him that he doesn't catch the DRS of Jordan. So let's see if the Mercs can do any sort of teamwork. Have to see. iConnect very close to it as well, but much less ERS here. I don't think he got any damage from the contact on lap 1 between him and Axel. At least not visible. If anything, it's side fault. It was no side fault that happened into turn 1. Bit of contact there between iConnect and Equals Mats. This is yellow flags. Energetic make a mistake and he's down to P12, unfortunately for him. Jordan has pulled away a little bit for the S's there. Let's see if Equals Mats going to be close enough for a move. Not quite, the S is sticking behind. Jamie Met is going to be on the back of Energetics though, with Marcy not too far behind either.
Yeah, Marcy just a 10.5 back from the Aston Martin, but the Aston Martin looking onto the back of the Red Bull. It looks like Esteban has had a spin down at turn 12. He's going to be dropping all the way down to P11, so ruining that good qualifying position. Okay. Yep, that was scary. And Esteban goes around once again. His tires obviously absolutely destroyed after that first spin. Probably lit up the rear end trying to get it back in the right direction. But Esteban going to be down into P15, already losing around 10 positions in this race so far. And we're only on lap 3. Jordan, our leader, sets the fastest lap of the race and has pulled quite a significant gap in that final sector. Pulled a decent amount. The gap is up to 1.8 seconds as Puldy Pulls will break into turn 1 with the cost mats right up his gearbox. iConnect doing the same to the Mercedes as well. Axel consistently losing a few tenths a lap, of course, as well. Old School Swip swapping positions as Swip will hop over the inside curve at turn 1 and tries to switch back Old School, but I think Old School is just going to secure this position for the time being, and Old School is going to be up into P9 and looking to chase down the other soft tire runner in his teammate in Robertson, who's currently in P8.
Yeah, for Robertson, you have to say it has worked the gamble at least. So he is running away quite a bit there, and he's just gonna let his teammate by. That looks very weird, I can't lie. But it worked for Robertson in the fact that he was up there for a while. We have a train behind him now, and also this might allow Old School to gain back up towards the hard runners and you guys up ahead. Just looking ahead, Equals Massive right on the back of Pulpus. Obviously with those mediums you want to get by. Now they're still good as Swip and Robertson are actually side by side. Swip making that move into turn 12 and no issue there for the Dutchman in the Aston. He is gonna be very happy with that so far. Very solid race. And let's see if he can still make use of the softs. I'm curious what he's gonna do strategy wise, if he's just gonna go into the hards around lap 7 or 8 and then just try and take those to the end, or that he's gonna try something else, perhaps a 2-stop gambling on a safety car.
Some understeer.
Yeah, Robertson has got a lot on this here. I don't know if he has any damage, but what he's doing here is not looking very good. As Swip is in already. There must be a 2-stop. I can't see any scenario where you take the hards to the end from now. Yeah, it's medium, so it has to be a 2-stop. Alright, that's an interesting decision. It can work out. But let's see if it does.
Yeah, Swip will need safety cars if he wants that to work, I think. But
yeah, but at the right time, who knows? You might as well. I don't think, with all due respect, I don't think he's up here to maybe challenge for the victory. So if you can take a gamble and it works out, might as well go for it, I guess. Not much to lose. Equals Mass and iConnect are very close together. Still behind the Alfa Romeo Focus though. Just keeping on quite tightly there. Although the gap to Jordan is 2 seconds, it's not extending by too much. I think Jordan has like a 10th, maybe 2 per lap on him. And it's just slowly kind of pulling away. But, you know, at the end, Tolopus will likely have those mediums and is going to be able to get back at them. So Energetics is making a move on Jamie Met for P10. Whereas Red Bull up there. Not sure what's happened to Robertson, honestly. Those weird moments of understeers looked weird to me.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. It looked like just over-rotating, but I'm not too... Maybe just running... I don't even know. As who was that? Marcy has had a spin. Same with Energetics. It looks like synchronized spinning from those two, because I don't think they're close together on track. As you can see, there's already a 3-second gap. If someone's in pit lane, that'll be Robertson. That's kind of expected, I'm not going to lie. But I guess the question will be, is he going to go for mediums or is he going to go for hards? 2-stop with a 1-stop. I think the 1-stop is going to be kind of a stretch if he wants to go for it. What's right on board is no one's really too close to make a move. And it's going to be mediums.
Very close.
Yeah, his mediums
Yeah,
for Robertson.
yeah. So another gambler on the 2-stop there, Swift way ahead of him. He's gonna be even behind goes Recon there. Hasn't stopped yet. See, looks like Ecos Mass can't quite get that exit out of turn 11 to get the run down towards turn 12. Or at least he's not committing with the ERS either, and maybe doesn't have the straight line speed either. Is weaving out a little bit, not sure why. Let's see, I connect it's because of that kind of also stuck there. And these three keep going in formation for now. As none of them really making mistakes. None of them really faster than the other. That looks like this is quite stagnant for the time being. Mind goes UK is actually caught up to Axel. Goes on the hearts. As Axel has actually had a spin there for the triple right-hander. His round's not on the wall, luckily for him, so he can continue on. He's losing quite a lot of time as he comes out behind Old School again.
Yeah, Old School is going to be up into P7, Evil Dragon up into P6 as Axel, who's actually putting together a pretty solid race for himself. Of course, only had 15 points this season, has had 3 points finishes from 3 races that he's competed in so far. So a good record, and it looks like he could possibly keep it up if he didn't have that spin. But probably still on for points here as long as he's able to keep it clean through this race so far. Of course, no one with penalties quite yet. I'd expect a few to get penalties, of course, as it is quite easy. We've had a yellow flag that goes Recon in the final sector. He's had a spin at the penultimate corner. Ibo also off the track in the final sector. But let's go on board with Jordan for a little bit as we look at the battle up at the front. Jordan leading by 2.3 seconds. At the most, it's been up to 2.5. So that gap's starting to close down just a little bit, or possibly just a mistake. One of the two. Pole's getting closed in on by Ecos Mass, but the Mercedes driver not going to be quite close enough. Just can't get the exit and can't get the run on the Alfa Romeo down towards turn 12.
I think he's committing quite to it either. It doesn't look like he is. Like he used a little bit of ERS, but then realized I can't get this easily done, so I might not waste my ERS, which is, you know, a fair choice. Maybe feels like he's not much quicker than Pole is at the moment as well. And for that, it might be just smarter to sit behind and not do too much. He's still having decent pace here. iConnect sitting on the back as well. I think he's struggling a little bit more. Some more yellow flags for Ibo for the first sector. iConnect is looking to sort of a little bit more, less ERS as well to capitalize on anything. So Marcy and Jess are basically subsiding to the penultimate corner there. Marcy already having a 3-second time penalty, so he's the only one to have that so far. Steven has joined in for the fight as well after his earlier spins. Jess has not a great exit there, and Marcy can capitalize, and Steven is going to try and go for it as well. On the inside of the McLaren, he's going to try and break into the gap. A little bit of contact, wheel to wheel. It looks like Steven is through into P11, and Jess is down 2 positions.
Yeah, just down to P12 there. Still in the points, of course, as the League of Europe have points for the top 12. Just an adjusted system. That's what we've been using since season 2, I want to say. So
I think it's the beginning even. So.
Well, either way, we're in season 9 now, so it doesn't really matter when we're using it. So Esteban up to P11 after he started up in the top 5. So looking to try and get back into this race. Has a decent amount of ERS, so I'd imagine he kind of fly past Marcy, who's down to 6% and is just a little bit out of Jamie Metz's DRS. Let's see what Marcy's going to be able to do as a top 4, deciding to keep it boring, just like the other divisions. Ghost Recon picks up a 3-second time penalty. Esteban looking to the outside, and that's going to be relatively easy, actually. It looks like Marcy's going to put up quite the fight into the braking zone on those medium tires, which will be starting to go off just a little bit, I think. Esteban, though, his hard tires should be coming back to him once the fuel starts to go down a little bit, and those hard tires not wearing too much. They should get better as he goes into this, as he gets into the stint, as Marcy has a little bit of a slide there out of turn 15. But it looks like he's going to be... Oh, never mind. Just as I say that, he has a massive snap and go... Did he hit the wall? I don't think so. Looks like the gravel trap did its job there just to keep him out of the wall, but that's going to be him down to P13, P14 even. So, yeah, unfortunate there for Marcy, but those medium tires really did kind of do him over.
Yeah, I'd say looks like the mediums are going off a little bit. Focus is getting back on Jordan as well. So So, looks like the advantage might be near the hard runners now, at least equal to. And I think we should see the medium runners in fairly soon. Marcy we see, and obviously after that snap, it's not too surprising to just go into the hearts and see what you can make of that. Looking down the grid, we have Energetics on the back of just there. And through the S's up the hill now. Very tough exit there for turn 9. The Energetics can make the move down towards turn 12 though. I expect him to make something work as Swift gets a 3-second time penalty. And that might harm him in trying and succeeding in a 2-stop, so I'll have to see how that goes on. He's about 8 seconds behind this little fight. Energetics goes to the inside, and I don't think this is putting up much of a fight. Looks like the Red Bull is through, and into P11.
Yeah, good move there for Energetics, able to get the DRS and make his way to the inside for the braking zone, just getting that advantageous position. In the better position, really, as you go into the braking zone. Up back to the top 4. Iconex, it looks like he's made a little bit of a mistake or just falling off a little bit. He's really been at a low state of ERS since the beginning of the stint and really just hasn't been able to get it back. Another little bit of a slide there from Iconex out of turn 1. You can really see he's not happy with those tires as he's dropped off the train now. As Jordan is starting to just slowly give a little bit time in some corners to Poldypulls. As Matt's right in the back of him. Hasn't had to use too much of his tires, I don't think, because when his tires were better, he doesn't have to push too hard, and it didn't look like he really wanted to get past Poldypulls. And now he's going to start leaning on them just a little bit more as we're going to get closer to the pit window for these medium guys. And the Mercedes are really going to have to start to think about who they want to pit first. I'd imagine Jordan would be in first, or Matt's even could make the undercut decision to try and gain a little bit more time on Poldypulls, but I guess we'll have to see what the Mercedes driver decided to do. Poldypulls, 1.6 seconds is now the gap. It was only 2.5 a few laps ago, so Poldypulls starting to close in and putting himself into a much better position as he gets closer to the race leader.
Yeah, he's trying to reel in that Scotsman up ahead. Just losing a little bit of time. Not having too much ERS either, so I could see him coming in this lap even. He's better lap of Ibo actually. So you see there up ahead. He's staying out for now. Let's see if anyone else comes in. Nope, they're all staying out. So it might allow Poldypulls to creep closer towards Jordan. It's because a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits there on the exit. Oh, amazing. It's a game does like to do that if you're off track for a while. And yeah, this group is closing in on Jordan quite a bit now.
Yeah, it looks like Jordan is losing quite a bit more time. Poldypull is just a little bit faster through the corners now. Those hard tires will be objectively, they shouldn't be as good, but once you get to, well, we're now 10.5 laps in to this race, those medium tires are going to start to fall off. They're going to hit the grip cliff. There we go. English, nice. But Poldypulls, I think he just missed out on DRS there as we're going to head down toward turn 12. Yeah, he's missed out on DRS. A little bit harsh, but I think he was just a little bit outside. Matt's still not doing too much to try and get involved in this battle, really just kind of staying there. Iconex, though, was able to get back within DRS range. Esteban has picked up a 3-second time penalty, and then instinctively locks up.
That was a bit weird because on my end it said that Poldypulls was at DRS, and I switched back and forth, and he didn't have it, but he was gaining on Jordan, so I'm a bit confused there. What actually happened? So Stephen is closing up to the back of Jamie Mitt, who seems to have a lot of straight line speed there to stay ahead like that. Stephen on the braking though, and looks like he can get it complete. Bit of contact though. Jamie Mitt push onto the curbs. But it looks like Stephen is through, and we have Jordan into the pits at the front. Matt staying out, and Iconex staying out as well. So Jordan, the first one to pull the lever and try the undercut here.
Yeah, it looks like Jordan's just trying to conserve that lead that he had right now because Poldypulls got within DRS range. He had DRS down the pit straight there, so Jordan not going to give him any chance of trying to make that, or attempting to make that overtake, as Old School is also into the pits off of his medium compounded tires. Both of them will be pitting onto hards. Jordan just avoiding traffic, I think, if he can stay in front of Axel, who's going to be on very warm medium tires compared to Jordan's very cold hard tires. But I think Jordan will just stay ahead. He might have to contend with Axel down the back straight, but sure it won't be too much of a problem for him. Polypoles, though, into the lead of the race now with Ecos Mats in second, followed by iConnex, which are your top 3 out on track right now. I'd imagine Mats and iConnex will both be into the pits on this lap if they want to try and stay as close as possible to Jordan. iConnex still managed to grab DRS on this lap. Must have made a mistake at turn 11 then, considering he was out of DRS range down the straight. Ecos Mats just sticking in behind. Polypoles has been slowly draining his battery. Same with Ecos Mats, still at a slightly lower level than Polypoles. That's kind of how it's been throughout most of the stint, just around 3 to 5% less has the Mercedes driver had. But as we're into the final sector now, and Jordan was able to hold Axel off, those hard tires are really going to start to come to him. On the lower fuel, he's going to be able to push very hard on those tires. But let's see what the drivers decide to do. Ecos Mats in, iConnex into the pit lane as well, and Polypoles will be our sole race leader.
Yeah, he's gonna have a big lead still to go. He's had a bit of a quiet race. He's in the middle of nowhere, a couple seconds behind that group, and quite a bit ahead of the rest. There's Evil Dragon there as well. Also him having a quiet race there. It looks like iConnex has jumped Ecos Mats in the pits. So potentially that Mats has had a slower pit stop there. Jordan getting past both of them as Mats has a big snap. Somehow keeps that out of the wall. That was quite a scary moment there. Some twisting from left to right, but he's lost quite a bit of time there. iConnex about 1.7 behind. Jordan's going to be more because the tires, especially the hards, are going to need to warm up quite a bit for this section. As he's actually gaining a little bit, which I'm surprised by. But yeah, only 1.5, and then Mats is another 1.5 behind iConnex. So a lot of spread out, and let's see if they can gain time now, which they have to do right now to at least in comparison to Polypoles, because he's obviously going to be out for another couple laps on all the hards. So yeah, that's kind of the battle they're facing. Old School's on the back of Axel here on track, with Swift not too far behind either. Swift gained a lot of time then on those mediums, and if he can keep that pace up, there is a chance for him to get some decent points. We'll have to see though, because obviously he does still have another pit stop to go, whereas these guys don't have that. So Axel is letting Old School by here. It looks like Swift is going to be able to get by as well, so Axel losing 2 positions. And he's down at P13.
Yeah, not really sure what Axel was doing there. Maybe just cold tires, decided to just let them go, I guess. But looking up at the front, currently Jordan has an 18.2 second gap to our race leader, and I think the pit stop is it's 20 seconds, I want to say. So
yep,
it
around
looks like
20 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like Jordan's going to be able to keep the lead, but of course that's what we'd expect, especially with Polypoles going to be able to go on to the fastest tire, being in the mediums. He just has to stay out on these hards, keep it clean, keep it tidy. Out on track right now. Polypoles still pulling away from Ghost. The gap is up to 7 seconds now, and Evil Dragon 14.5 behind Polypoles as well. So it looks like Polypoles is putting together a very decent race for himself so far in this one, and is giving him the best shot, I think, at winning this race. We have a Williams. Let's go Recon.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I did see an Alfa Romeo with a blue car behind, so I immediately kind of thought that was Ghost. I do apologize. But yeah, Ghost Recon going around, and he's into the pits again. Quite a miserable race at his home race so far. There's a little battle between Axel and Swift, as Old School's going for the move on Jess into turn 11, and he's going to have the DRS here, nonetheless, even though he's ahead. And allows Swift to pass through as well as Axel potentially. So Swift doesn't have much ERS, but it's able to get through, and Axel is going to try for the move as well. Then it's turn 12. Late on the brakes, and looks like he's just about ahead there for the corner. It's just on the curbs on the exit actually. And as you can see, that position for that time then. So no, it's Ghost is keeping that gap quite tidy with Polypoles, so not too bad there. Fastest laps flowing in. So Ecos Mats has a 37.6. Bit of ERS drained, I think, for both him and iConnex, who respectively set fastest laps at that point, and gained a little bit of time on Jordan again. Looking at the gap between Jordan and Polypoles is 7.5 seconds, so Jordan is gaining a little bit. And at this point, Platypus would come out around Ecos Mats, I think. Maybe just about behind him or just about in front. We'll have to see how that's going to vary on. But these two have now caught up to Jordan. And that might make it a bit harder for Platypus later on to get past him.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if anything, if I'm Jordan here, I want to get iConnects and Matt into my DRS, but still keep them at a safe distance as well, like 7 to 8 tenths of a second. If I can keep them just about there, I think I'm in the perfect position to stay in front of anyone else who could challenge your position as the net race leader here. So Jordan doing that to perfection as it stands right now. iConnects gaining with DRS. Ecos Mads going a little bit deep into turn 12, it looked like there, but purple middle sector for the Mercedes driver, so possibly not. Jordan closing onto the back of Evil Dragon now, so he's going to start to run into the traffic, but I think those top three are going to be starting to pit for mediums as the Energetics and Jamie Met are swapping positions. Both these drivers still yet to pit as Energetics will go around. Jamie Met will be very lucky to avoid that spinning Red Bull, and he's going to keep his P8 for the time being. Axel and Swip going side by side. Axel on the outside, Swip on the inside. As Swip on 10-lap old hard medium tires, as of course he started on the softs, pit to the mediums now. Axel being on fresh hard tires, and it looks like Swip is going to be able to keep that position. Energetics has spun again, which gives Jess 12th place once again.
A lot of disparity here for the top guys, or like net top guys. They're facing a McLaren up ahead here, as Energetics is going around again and just dropping further and further back. Yeah, they're facing Evil Dragon, and they're gonna have to get past that, otherwise they might be under threat of one another or lose out too much time to Platypus. Platypus is actually gaining a little bit back on Jordan. Jordan doesn't seem to have much fun on the hard so far. Looks like iConnect is the one, together with Matt, that is looking a bit quicker here. I'll have to see, they're all gonna gain on Evil Dragon here. Let's see who is able to get past. I think Jordan is right, he is gonna be able to get past him, as Swip is actually going round there for the assist. And it's dropped quite a bit. Jordan is faster. Evil Dragon is going to be right ahead of iConnect here, and this might give Jordan a little bit of a gap now. If he can pull away for the rest of the final sector, iConnect is going to have to try and get past as soon as he can. Platypus is going into the pit for the medium, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out. I think GoSUK is in as well. iConnect still behind Evil Dragon. He's not going to be able to get past quite soon. Evil Dragon now heads into the pits. So this is actually perfect for Jordan. He's been able to create a little bit of a gap. iConnect does have DRS obviously from Evil Dragon, but has also a snap, and is about a second behind. Platypus just coming out of the pits. He's going to be right behind Matt, I think. On the brakes, it's going to be actually very close. Contact between Platypus and iConnect on the apex of turn 1. And Platypus is dropping back to P4 now after that contact. And yeah, that was very close, actually being quite dangerous.
Yeah, Platypus just coming out on the inside line there, of course, being the pit lane on the inside of the circuit there. So Platypus just coming into the line of fire, really. iConnect couldn't really do too much besides give him space. Platypus kind of just being put into a bad position there by where he came out from the pit lane. So Platypus now, he's going to be within DRS range, which is going to be the perfect situation for him, I think. Trying to warm up those medium tires, which won't take long. They should be up to full temperature by the end of the final sector. And he's also going to have DRS, which is going to be able to keep him in this battle. Ecos Mats 33% ERS, Platypus 43. iConnect completely out, same for Jordan. So if Platypus can keep a hold to his ERS, I think he might just kind of slice his way through these top 4.
There's a decent chance of that happening as Energetics is round again. Yeah, this would look like a meh race for him is now turning into quite a bad one, and no real prospect of any sort of points. Unless a lot of people crash out or something. So iConnect is just going to be able to hang on to the DRS. For Jordan here. Jordan still staying ahead. It's interesting to see how Platypus is going to be able to get through. Those mediums should come into play very soon. Ecos Matt still has that ERS advantage though, and that might help him in his turn. As with Steban coming in, and I think Jamie Met will be coming in as well. So it's going onto a set of medium tires, which will promote Evil Dragon up into P6 there. More yellow flags there, Energetics is letting these guys by. And this lead battle could get very spicy. Ice Connect, I've seen, is consistently gaining through this little part, the second part of the S's up the hill. Jordan doesn't seem to have a lot of fun, and that is going to cost him because that allows iConnect to get very close to the back of the Mercedes.
Yeah, Jordan struggling through the first half of that middle sector, it seems, so looks like iConnect is going to get the better exit. Actually, Jordan gets a very good exit, but iConnect is burning all the ERS that he doesn't have. Jordan not doing anything with his ERS right now. Poldypol's looking to get onto the back of Mats, and I think if Poldypol can get past Mats, which it looks like he's going to be able to do, he's going to be able to slice his way through the other two drivers as iConnect is up the inside of Jordan. Will get P1 for the time being, but Poldypol is on the inside of Ecos Mats there, and he's going to get up into that third position, and now the two drivers in front of him both don't have ERS, and they're going to be squabbling over that first position. Jordan looks to dive up the inside of turn 15 of iConnect, but iConnect is able to keep the position for the time being. There's not going to be any more overtaking opportunities on this lap, but I think the next one, the next point of contention is going to be into turn 1. Poldypol is already closing through the triple right-hander as we head into the penultimate corner of turn 19. Poldypol is all over the gearbox of Jordan, who will move over to the left-hand side, just try and create a little bit of a gap so he can get the best exit possible, open up the DRS, and let's see what he's going to be able to do. He's burning that ERS. He's already gaining on Jordan. Oh my goodness, the straight line speed is absolutely insane, and Poldypol is going to send it up the inside, almost banging wheel to wheel as they go through the braking zone at turn 1, but that's easy picking for Poldypol, and he's up into P2 already. iConnect is not going to have the DRS, and I don't think he's going to have much of a chance to hold back the Alfa Romeo.
It looks like those mediums are just too good for now to actually hold him back, and yeah, Poldypol's looking like he's able to get through, as iConnect has a lot of faith and can hold on. And this might actually pose a little bit of threat for the Mercedes, because Ghost UK isn't too far off. It's about 5-6 seconds off of the Mercs. And those Mercs, if the mediums say are about a second per lap quicker, there's a chance that, you know, they get swallowed up as well by Ghost UK. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But obviously, Poldypol still has to get by iConnect. iConnect still going to defend that lead. Going down into the final sector here on lap 19. There's no 9 laps to do it, and I think that they're also looking in favor of the Belgian.
Yeah, our championship leader looks like he's going to win 2 out of the last 3 as it stands right now. I don't know if he'll be able to pick up the fastest lap if he doesn't have it already. So Poldypol is currently in P2, looking out of the back of iConnect. iConnect almost broke DRS up at the top of the hill. Down the back straight there, but wasn't quite able to do it, and Poldypol's been able to close back in. But Poldypol's with a kind of a weak final sector there. He found 4/10 on his personal best, but not good enough to make his way past iConnect here on the pit straight. But I'm sure he would want to do it into the final sector anyway. Ghost UK with the fastest lap of the race, and he's closed that gap to the two Mercedes to 4.5 seconds. So it looks like Ghost UK is cooking with something. I'm not sure what it is, but it's definitely something. As Poldypol is just following iConnect through this first sector, but iConnect is really strong through this first sector. Poldypol's it's increasingly looking like that Poldypol is on a very low downforce setup, as you could kind of tell when he kind of just blew past Jordan with no real chance into turn 1 just a few laps ago. So Poldypol struggling through the first and the final sector, but is extremely fast through that middle sector.
Yeah, let's see if he can get this move done all night. He's bringing off his ERS. He's going to try to do it this time out. In behind for now, though, he's gaining a lot. Is he going to be able to make a move down the inside? iConnect's the fence side by side down into turn 12. Poldypol's deeper on the brakes, and it's going to get that move complete. And he's up into P1. iConnect's looking back up the inside. He's not going to be close enough. Turn 15 is the only point where he's going to be able to try and get back at him. He's going to go for it on the inside. Is he going to be able to make that stick? He does make that stick. A little bit of contact, I think, or Poldypol's just having the back out. But that's great defending by the Ferrari, and he's up into P1. As Steven is coming by. It's old school there. Just going to keep an eye on this, because this league battle is quite good here, as Poldypol is going to have to try again, maybe down towards turn 1. Is he going to be able to? But he doesn't have as much ERS anymore, and iConnect's exits look very solid.
Yeah, Iconex using that downforce to his advantage, just getting the exit off of the corners, getting the run through the technical corners as well. So Iconex able to keep his lead on the lap 21 here as the Ferrari driver, and he's going to look to pull away as well through that first sector. But eventually,
Oh,
those medium tires are going to start to fall off, and Pulls, he may have the straight line speed, but is he going to be able to keep up through the two most important sectors on the circuit? It looks like he's able to do so on this lap. The gap only extending to what looks to be 7/10, a little bit wide there for Pulls, but what type of exit is he going to be able to get? He's able to pull away from Jordan, but can't quite stick with Iconex, who picks up a 3-second time penalty at one of the worst places on the circuit on the inside of turn 10. That's not one that you see too often, but Iconex already burned all of his ERS. Now you're going to see Pulls. All he has to do is stay in front of the rest of the field. But if I'm Pulls, I kind of want to get past Iconex, keep that gap, keep Ghost as far away from me as possible, because it looks like Ghost is absolutely flying. Of course, holding the fastest lap as it stands right now, and only 2.5 seconds back from the two Mercedes, who are still, if the top two get into a battle, well within and have a very good shot at a win here.
yeah, I'm quite curious of what these Mercs are going to do. Because they don't seem to have the pace Iconex does have at some point. At this point, anyway. As I should say, old school last time, last lap did go round for the triple right-hander. So Ibo picked up another 10 seconds, and old school losing another position to Jamie met there. And it's interesting to see how much these Mercs can hold back the Alpine of Ghost UK. Because it could be very difficult. Pulpos going for the move again, and this time it looks a bit easier. And I think he has to complete in turn 1. Doesn't look like Iconex can fight back. And Pulpos is probably going to pull away here. Although, obviously, Iconex does seem to have a lot of downforce, so he could stick quite close. Let's see how close he can stick. And maybe he has another chance to get back at the Alfa Romeo. Whether he wants to, we'll have to see. Usually, Pulpos on those mediums is going to be still a bit quicker. But the mediums won't have the absolute best pace anymore. Still much better than the hards, but definitely not what the maximum is. So I guess could stick here with the Alfa Romeo. Let's see how much he's going to be able to stick with. He has DRS 6 cents behind, but he's not gaining. You see how quick Pulpos is in a straight line. And that just solidifies it. As this Mercs is swapping position, so Ecos and Mats is into P3, and Jordan down into P4.
Yeah, the two Mercedes decide to swap. It looks like Ecos Mats might just have the better pace on these Warren tires, as Jordan tires are objectively 1 lap older. Usually doesn't quite mean too much, especially on the hards, but I guess we'll see what Mats has to offer, as the gap is already extended to 1.6, as Pulpos is absolutely flying away from Iconex, who does have that 3-second time penalty. Is Iconex going to be able to stay within DRS range? I think he might have just snagged it. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's going to mean too much, because Pulpos absolutely just flies away on the straight. And as you can see, a 36.9. That was well clear of the next fastest lap that Ghost UK was able to put in just a few laps ago. So Pulpos is going to fly away up at the front of the race, I think, and he does just have a little bit more ERS than the guys behind him. So Pulpos could very easily keep this lead, and as long as he doesn't make any major mistakes, he should be able to keep hold of this race victory. Iconex doing his best through the first sector to try and catch back up, but I don't think he has anything really to match the absolute rapid pace in a straight line of Pulpos. As you can see, just gets within DRS range, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to matter too much. If anything, Iconex is racing the two Mercedes here instead of Pulpos.
Yeah, obviously gaining the DRS on that is going to be very advantageous. Jordan has already dropped back a 1.5 seconds from Ghost UK, so Jordan is really not enjoying this time right now. And he's going to have the Alpine on the back to worry about very soon. In the meantime, Ecos Mats is going to just try and stick within that 3 seconds of Iconex, I reckon, and he could pick up a point P2 here potentially.
Yeah, Ecos Mats, of course, picked up a 3rd place just 2 weeks ago in Abu Dhabi, so adding a 2nd place to his season total could be very helpful for him and, of course, Mercedes in the Constructors' battle, because Mercedes still lead the Constructors on 107 points. They lead Ferrari by 9 points, so Iconex, it's it's kind of unfortunate for iConnect for him to pick up that penalty. Same for Esteban, who also has a time penalty as well. I believe that is 3 seconds. Yes, it is. So both Ferraris picking up 3 seconds of time penalties here. iConnect set his fastest lap, his personal best fastest lap. Poldypulse was still able to pull away by 2 or 3 tenths of a second over the full lap distance there. So iConnect really is not going to be able to stick with Poldypulse here, as Poldypulse is trying to elevate Alfa Romeo from 3rd place in the constructors, as they're currently 16 points behind Ferrari. So this is going to be a good race for them. Unfortunately, though, his teammate is only picking up 1 point or 2 points currently in Marcy. So let's watch on board, I guess, with Ghost UK now, as we have yellow flags. That's Ivo on the pit straight. Ghost UK had quite the gap to pull back. It was about 7 seconds from when he came out of the pit lane to the top 4, just the last driver in the top 4 there. But it looks like now he's finally got onto the back of the train. Jordan's tires have hit a wall, literally, and it looks like Jordan's going to be giving up that position on this lap, if not next lap. However, though, Jordan very quick at a straight line, and we've seen that a few times this season. Jordan just going for a very quick car in a straight line, and Ghost UK not able to get close enough to send one up the inside, or at least not close enough to where he felt comfortable doing it.
Yeah, just sticking in behind for now. As you see a few time penalties. So Axel picking up just 1 there, so Jimmy might have something to gain as well. After because of 3 seconds in the last couple of laps, so there's a possibility there. Have to see around though. Mats is slowly gaining actually on iConnect, which he's doing quite well. And yes, iConnect is actually going round and into the wall. That reminded me so much of Danik Fiat in 2015. He's able to continue on though. Doesn't look like he has much. Yeah, it doesn't look like he has much of, if any, damage at all. And he's lucky to do that, but he's gonna lose out majorly to that. Down to P5 already. Don't think he'll lose out to Evil Dragon if he can keep up the pace decently. But yeah, that obviously loses him out. And that promotes Jordan back up to P3. But that does mean he still has Ghost 70 UK to worry about. And the Alpine is going to be eager to get that podium snatched off the other Mercedes.
Yeah, so this is really going to put iConnect out of the championship battle. Of course, we're only going to be 6 races in at the end of this race of a 17-race calendar. So we'll still have 11 more races after this one, including 2 sprints. But Poldypulse winning this race, extending his lead over Jordan, who looks like, we'll say P3 for the time being. So that's a 10-point gap. That'll be 12 points. And then iConnect only finishing in 10th here. He was already 6 points behind. That'll be a 21-point gap, and it can be overturned, but it'll be tough for iConnect to do it. He'll have to be almost perfect for the rest of the season, because we've already seen from Poldypulse that he's been in good form already this season, with a win, a 3rd place, and possibly another win here in USA.
Yeah, Poldypulse has been very, very good, has to be said, very consistent, and just looking like he's very comfortable out on track most of the time. However, I'm looking at Ecos Mats here. He is slowly but surely gaining on the Alfa Romeo. Now, obviously, the gap is 2.7 seconds. It's not going to get overturned just like that. So Goshike is actually going for the move. Not quite there. Has to back off there. But if Poldypulse, and I'm just going to check, if he does pick up a penalty at some point, there is obviously a risk that he loses out to Ecos Mats here, and that could harm him quite a bit. And yes, he does have 2 warnings. So, you know, he's got to be careful. He doesn't pick up a last warning, and maybe he's being careful, and that's why he's a bit slower. But I have to see about that. Matt still does have an opportunity to win this if Poldypulse doesn't make a mistake regarding track limits. Old goes into the pits, 5 seconds speeding penalty as well. I'm sure he wants to go for a fast lap. I don't think he meant to pick up that 5-second time penalty. Goshike is now going for the move on Jordan here, down towards turn 12. Jordan is going to defend this on the outside. Let's see, Goshike is holding that inside, and it looks like Jordan actually has a better run on the outside. A little bit of contact, but not too much. Jordan keeps ahead for now. Goshike is still trying to find a gap here or there. Trying to launch it up the inside into turn 15. Let's see, does he make that one stick? Jordan has a better run on the outside once again, and holds on to that position. Good battling between the two of them. Let's see if the Alpine can make this one work in the last couple of laps. Last 2 laps We go on to that now.
No. No, not my internet. Oh my god. Let's go. Alright, I just need to change properties. Hello? You're?
Hello.
Alright. We're back. We have screen. Nice. And audio. Lovely. Alright.
Yes. Perfect.
So, Polybowls won, obviously. Ecos Mats finished second. And now there's a beautiful box with remote play connected on the top of your screen, which is just lovely. But
yeah. I was still watching, so I could kind of see what was happening. Goshike launched a few attacks at Jordan, but wasn't quite able to go through. And Jordan held off that well, kept the podium position. And in the meantime, just everyone else just finishing their races, and obviously Polypus winning the race and extending his championship lead.
yeah, so Polypols will take the victory over Ecos Mats by 2.3 seconds. Jordan finished in third, was able to hold off Ghost UK in the final few laps to secure his third podium in a row. iConnex will finish in P5. Evil Dragon finishes in P6. Esteban P7. Axel will finish in P8. Jamie Met P9. Swip in P10. So 9, 10, and 4. 2 Aston Martins. Old School will finish in P11. And Jess Gamer will take home the final points of the race. Marcy finished P13. Robert Sump finished P14. I believe Ghost Recon got the fastest lap of the race, it looks like. While being a lap down, and then Energetics and Ibo both being 2 laps down. But it is good to see that everyone did finish the race, or at least 90% of it. So, yeah, overall, I'd say a successful race for most people. Polypols extending his championship lead. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that one, as we're going to Canada next week.
Yeah, it was like a completely different track. Yeah, I'll have to see who is going to be good there. But that see, because usually kind of a wheel track, so I expect the likes of Polypus, Mats, and iConnect to be right up there again. Steban potentially. Steban's on the pad actually, so I do apologize. But yeah, those three I mentioned before, I think are going to be near the top once again. We'll have to see though.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see what these guys are able to do. Just, I guess, looking for driver of the day. As we try to end off the stream, Polypols obviously won. I'd say Ghost UK, and then do you have a final driver that you would like to name for
Uh,
driver of the day?
I'd say equals Mats probably. He's just been very consistent throughout that race, picking up P2. He'll be very happy with. So yeah, I think that is the other one I'd nominate.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll get that sent over to Larkin, and everyone in Division 4 can vote on who you thought was your driver of the day for this race. But yeah, as we already mentioned, we're going to Canada next week. Polypols extends his championship lead over Jordan by 10 points, so up to a 12-point lead for the Alfa Romeo driver, and I think he's going to be very happy with that weekend. But besides that, I think that's going to be it here for Division 4. Of course, catch Division 1 and 3 next week in Canada at 6:30 UK time, and then back for Division 2 and Division 4 at 8:10 UK time. And we'll see you again next week. So